Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well today. Lots to get into, but before we do that, please do me a small favour. If this is your first time watching today, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I'll be live throughout the whole of the transfer window, bringing you updates on everything related to Man United, so make sure you go and do that right now. And give the video a like as well. Why not? Doesn't cost you any money and it will really help me out. So make sure you do those two things. On today's show, we are going to be reacting to some comments from David Ornstein in relation to Manchester United's summer window. We're also going to be talking a bit about Liam Delap. Apparently that deal is now close. And we're also going to be talking about Antony to Atletico Madrid. The question I have for you this morning is this, and it's a pretty big question to answer, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Do you think Ruben Amorim will succeed at Manchester United? Have your say in the comment section below. I'm going to answer the question myself as well, because I don't think it's fair to ask you the question without answering it myself. So, should we do a poll? We'll do a poll for the live people. Let's have a look. Will Ruben Amorim be a success at United? There we go. The poll is set up. And my answer to this, it's a very difficult question. That's why I wanted to ask. That's why I wanted to ask it, because it's a really, really hard question to answer. Do I think Ruben Amorim will be a success at Manchester United? I mean, if he wins the Europa League, would that be classed as a success? That's another question there. My answer is actually relatively simple for this. I think if Ruben Amorim is given the tools he needs and the board change their ways and INEOS actually start operating like a big football club, then yeah, I think he'll be a success, 100%. But it's just whether the rest of those factors will happen, and I'm not sure if they will. So if we're literally just talking about Ruben Amorim as a manager, yes, I think he has all of the characteristics, the personality, the player management tools, all of those types of things. I think he has in abundance, and I think he can be a success, definitely. It's just whether the rest of the people around him, the Sir Dave Brailsfords, the Omar Baradas, Jason Wilcox, it's whether they can give him what he needs, and that's what I'm unsure about. So, yeah, I personally think I think we're going to have a really good summer window. I feel confident about this summer window. There's a lot of scaremongering going on, saying that if we don't win the Europa League, we're not going to be able to buy anybody, and I think Man United always are going to find money to buy people, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Obviously, if we get Champions League football, we'll have more money. But this whole assumption that we're not going to have a single penny to spend, I just don't believe it. The Glazers, who we all hate, spend 200 million every year for the last 10 years. So I don't see how we're supposed to believe that the people that we hated, or do still hate, supposedly can spend 200 million a year. But now we can't spend 200 million a year. I just don't buy into that whole thing. Now, obviously, the question is where that money's going to come from. Probably more debt, realistically, which I know we don't like. But I think this whole opinion that Man United will literally not be able to buy a single player if we don't win the Europa League, I think is very wrong, because the fact of the matter is Man United are going to want to get back into the Champions League, aren't they? And the only way to do that next season is by strengthening the squad. If they don't strengthen the squad, we're going to fall even further behind. And further behind is relegation. We can't literally get any lower than where we are now. If we get any lower, we will be relegated next year. So I'm not that worried about this window coming up. I think lots of players will leave, players will come in. And this story that came out this morning fills me with a little bit more confidence. This is coming out from David Ornstein this morning. Where is the story? It is... here it is. Where's it gone? I literally just had it open on my screen and it's ran away. Okay, so David Ornstein was talking last night, and he effectively said that there is no talk of Ruben Amorim losing his job, which is the correct decision in my opinion. I don't think Ruben Amorim should be there should be no conversation about Ruben Amorim being sacked. I think it's ridiculous. Anybody who's coming up with those agendas, it's just like, have you really thought about what you're saying here? You bring a manager in midway through a season who plays a completely different style of football, and you don't bring him in any players to play that style of football, right? It's stupid. After 1 or 2 seasons, full seasons and full transfer windows, if you're still this bad, then obviously sack him. You know, there's no argument there. But he brought in one player who was a 19-year-old from a relegation team in Serie A, and we let go of Antony and we let go of Rashford. So his team actually got weaker, and we let go of Malacia. We got rid of 3 players in January and signed 1. And we need a whole team to fit this new system. So for me, the whole Ruben Amorim should be sacked narrative, I think, is just ridiculous. What's the solution? What do you do then? Go and get Southgate? Go and get... I mean, it's stupid. I'm sorry. It's a stupid argument, and I'm not going to entertain it. So, and if you're one of those people, try and convince me otherwise. You know, let's have a conversation. But I just think that anybody who's calling for the manager to be sacked, it's just like, have you not learned from previous mistakes? You know, we all wanted Eric Ten Hag to be sacked in the end, didn't we? The man who'd won us trophies back to back for the first time in 6 years. The man who got us 3rd place in his first season. Everybody wanted him out. I mean, we can't ever be happy, can we? You have a manager who wins trophies and gets you top 4, Ten Hag, and you want him sacked. You have another manager now who supposedly, you know, is this trendy manager with a new style of play, and you want him sacked as well. I mean, what do you want? You know, that's what I keep asking myself. These people who are like, sack him. Like, what do you want? You rejected the manager who won us a trophy back to back and got us top 4, and now you're rejecting this guy. Like, what do you actually want from football? I don't understand. So yeah, I'm fully behind Ruben Amorim. I think he is one of the best managers in the world. I think he's proved that at Sporting Lisbon, and I think if he's given the tools, I think we can be a success. But if he's not given the tools, I think he'll fail, the same as every other manager before him has. So that's not really a controversial opinion. What I'm doing is I'm trying to take the emphasis away from Ruben Amorim and putting it onto Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, and the Glazers, because those are the people that should be under the limelight. It shouldn't be Ruben Amorim under the limelight. We've seen it at other top clubs in Europe, like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, where when they've had a poor season, the fans demand that the board are held responsible. Okay? And for some reason in England, or in the Premier League, when a team's doing badly, all of the focus is on the manager. There's no other comparison. It's the manager's fault. It has to be the manager. Sack the manager. But if you look at the other top clubs around Europe, the Real Madrids, the Bayerns, the Barças, if something really bad happens at that club in that season, the supporters are calling for the chairman, the CEO. They're calling for those people to be sacked because they're saying, how have you let us get into this position? There's only so much a football manager can do. He is given the tools. It's like going to work, right? Imagine you're a builder and you go to work and you need a hammer, a screwdriver, whatever else you need to build the fence. Yeah? And they give you a stone and that's it. You have 1 stone to build a fence. You know, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can only do what you can with the tools you're given. So imagine if you had a fence that was built with all of the best equipment, the best tools, versus a fence that somebody had just built by hand with nothing to hammer the things in. Like, which one's going to be better? It's a pretty obvious argument. So anyway, that's my take on that. Obviously, if you disagree, let me know. It's good to see that 86% of people here think that Ruben Amorim is going to be a success. That's positive to see. That's positive that he still has the backing of this community, because I have seen I've seen a lot of stuff on social media recently, and I know social media is an absolute cesspit, and you do always have to ask yourself whether a lot of these people who post as Man United fans on social media are even Man United fans. But, you know, a lot of them are posting sensationalized headlines saying he should be sacked immediately, he should go, never offering any solution, never saying this is why he should go, this is who should come in, this is what should happen. It's just he should be sacked, he's a disgrace, blah, blah, you know, just the usual. It's just, yeah, it's ridiculous. But I have no problem with people having differing opinions. To me, I like it when people actually like present an argument. It's not just, you know, yeah, it's not just like complete rubbish. But a lot of the time people aren't willing to actually, a lot of the time people aren't willing to actually have a proper conversation. They just want to say, oh, sack him, and then that's kind of it, you know? But anyway, let's move on from there. So David Ornstein saying that apparently INEOS are going to back Ruben Amorim this summer. They are going to give him the tools. And the exact quote is this. So this is a direct quote from David Ornstein this morning. He says that changing the coach is the last thing on Manchester United's agenda at the moment. United's priority this summer is to provide Ruben Amorim with the players he needs, which will allow him to play the style he wants to implement. So effectively, they're going to spend. They're going to spend to bring in a squad for Ruben Amorim. And I mean, that's just obvious. You bring a new manager in with new ideas and you should be giving him money to spend. Otherwise, what's the point in bringing him in? You may as well have just kept Erik ten Hag otherwise. We would be in a better position in the table with Erik ten Hag as the manager, 100%. And that was because the squad somewhat suited Erik ten Hag's style of play. In the end, Erik ten Hag reverted to park the bus and hit on the counter-attack. And this squad is perfectly assembled for that style of football. I'm telling you now, right, in my opinion, if we played counter-attacking football this season, like Nottingham Forest do, we would be in the top 4, 100%. I genuinely believe that. This squad is not as bad as we all make out it to be at playing counter-attacking football. That's the important emphasis here. If you want to play modern-style football with 60-70% possession and beautiful passing, this squad can't do it. It's hopeless. But if you want to play counter-attacking football, I think that we have a perfectly assembled squad here. Perfect. And I genuinely think we'd be in the top 4. If we had I'm not saying I want these people as managers. I'm just giving you some context. If we had someone like David Moyes as the manager or Nuno Espirito Santo, people who just park the bus and hit on the counter-attack with pace, we'd be in the top 4, I reckon. But the fans would still be complaining because you'd be saying, oh, we're winning 1-0. We're parking the bus at home against Nottingham Forest or against Brighton. It's not good enough. We should be playing attacking football. It's not the Man United way. Do you see what I'm saying here? So you've got a manager who we've brought in to try and play a modern style of football, but it's going to take time. The alternative is you revert back to park the bus, probably get top 4. The fan base is still unhappy. Those are the two options. There isn't a middle ground. So you have to kind of take sides here. You either stick with Ruben Amorim and you say that this is going to take a long time. We've got a whole squad of players who don't know how to play this style of football. They don't have the football IQ. We need to get rid of most of them. We need to start again. Or you go, you know what? This isn't going to work. Let's bring in Gareth Southgate. Park the bus. Maguire becomes the captain again. Bring in Liam Delap. Next thing you know, do you know what I mean? Like that's the alternative. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Everyone who's just joined the video, can you do me a favour and drop a like, please? We've got over 200 people watching and only 41 likes. What's going on? Everyone go and like this video, please. Doesn't cost you any money. But yeah, that's my take on all of that. Obviously, I'd be very interested to see if you agree or disagree. But to summarise, I think this team is perfectly assembled for counter-attacking football, but we don't want that. We don't want to sit there and watch Manchester United park the bus at home against Burnley or Nottingham Forest or whoever it is, Everton, you know? We demand that Manchester United play attacking football. You know, you hear the Stretford end screaming, attack, 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 when they don't see attacking football. So it's a difficult one, and I understand it. You watch football to be entertained, and a lot of the time under Erik ten Hag, the football wasn't entertaining, but we got results. We would get 1-0 wins. We would be lucky to get a moment of magic that would win us the game. And that was what used to happen under Ten Hag. But yeah, it's very, very positive to hear that David Ornstein is reporting that there is no minor mentions of Ruben Amorim being sacked. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I think that's phenomenal. But you can let me know what you think in the comment section, everybody. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Very interested to see what you all have to say. Yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying the show today. It's a little bit more animated than usual. I think I am growing a little bit frustrated with this constant desire from the fan base to sack people. I just don't understand it. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. I'm going to calm myself down. All right, let's see what the comments are saying today. Are you not entertained? It's good to see that so many people in the chat are backing Ruben Amorim, though. That's really positive to see because there's always this feeling that a manager's one result away from being sacked. And I just really don't like that. I just don't think that's how Manchester United should be. Let's look at Arsenal as an example. This is Arteta's 6th year and he's won 1 trophy. I'm not saying that that's all right, but there's people out here making out that like Arteta's one of the best managers around. Anyway, let's talk about Liam Delap. So the story on Liam Delap this morning is that apparently Manchester United are prioritising Liam Delap. We've heard that many times before. I still feel like if what was I going to say? If we get Champions League football, I feel like we will go in for Gyökeres, personally. But yeah, the story this morning is that Manchester United are now feeling very optimistic of completing a deal for Liam Delap if they win the Europa League. United and Chelsea are the 2 current clubs leading the race to sign Liam Delap and trigger his 30 million release clause, which is now active. It says Liam Delap is waiting to see who gets what at the end of the season, but Manchester United have made a strong pitch already. He is the number 1 striker target for Manchester United, and United have the financial means to sign both Matthias Cunha and Liam Delap in the early window if they can reach an agreement with both players. It says Chelsea have a number of striker options. Delap wants to make a decision before he leaves for the Under-21s European Championship. Yeah, I don't really understand, because didn't Ruben Amorim say a couple of days ago about Gyökeres that if Gyökeres only wants to come because of Champions League football, then like effectively he doesn't want him? Is this not the same with Liam Delap? The story about Liam Delap this morning is effectively saying that he only wants to join if we get Champions League football. I mean, I'm not being funny, mate, but he's just been relegated to the Championship. I don't really understand that narrative. He's got the biggest club in the world, bar Real Madrid, trying to sign him. And he's saying, oh, I only want to join a Champions League side. Mate, you've just been relegated. You haven't even had a cap for England yet. I think you're getting a little bit big for your boots. I don't know what you guys think, but I understand it was Gyökeres. He's 26, 27. He's in his prime. He doesn't probably have, he's probably got 10 years left in his career at the very most. Liam Delap's only just turned 20. Sorry, 21 he's just turned. And he's had 1 season in the Premier League. Never been capped by England. And he's saying, oh, I wouldn't go to Manchester United. It's just, I think that's rubbish. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, how can we say, oh, we don't want Gyökeres because he only wants to come if we have Champions League football? But then when it's Liam Delap, we're like, oh yeah, that's fine. Somebody in the chat saying apparently he's asking for 150 grand a week. Wow. That's ridiculous. 150 grand a week. I mean, what's he on at Ipswich now? Probably 20. He's on 20 grand a week at Ipswich. I wouldn't give him more than 50, 60 grand a week, personally. He should be on the same money as Garnacho, which is 50. There is no way on earth Liam Delap's worth 150k a week. Not a hope in hell. The alternative is that he gets relegated and is playing championship football next season. It's not like he's playing for Real Madrid and he's on 150 grand a week and he wants 150 grand a week to join United. He's playing for a team who just got relegated, and if he doesn't move this summer, he's going to be playing in the Championship next year. He got 12 goals in the Premier League. That's not worth 150 grand a week, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it isn't. I think he took the penalties as well. Does anybody know if he takes penalties? Can someone check? Let's have a look. So he got 12 goals in the Premier League in 35 games. Let's have a look. Liam Delap statistics. What's going on here? 12 goals. 12 goals. How many penalties? He scored 2 penalties. So he scored 10 goals from open play in 35 games. And he wants 150 grand a week. And he wants to wait to see if we get Champions League football. I mean, I'm sorry. That's a goal. It's like a goal every 4 games. I mean, that's not that prolific, is it? To be demanding 150k a week and to be demanding Champions League football. Realistically, if he joins Man United, how many goals do you reckon he'll get? 10, 15, maybe? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you think I'm overreacting here, but people are saying that he's really good. Yeah, Ginge, that's what I agree with Ginge here. Ginge says Liam Delap has 12 career goals and he's acting like he's an elite striker. There you go. And Fred says realistically he should be jumping at the chance to come to United. Yeah, for sure. Ginge says, yeah, what's he on about? 12. He's got 12 career goals and he's demanding 150 grand a week and Champions League football. Red Devils United says if he wants to play for England, a Man United move would really help him. Sorry, there's someone at the door. Who was that? Oh, it's the Sainsbury's. All right, I'm going to have to go, people. Sainsbury's food shop is here, so I'm going to have to go and do that. It's been a really good stream today. Let me talk about Antony really quickly, actually. So, Antony, apparently Atletico Madrid are holding talks with Manchester United this week over a deal for Antony. Great. Move him on. There's not really that much more to say about that. I think 40, 50 million would be fair. Yeah, I better go. Got to go and open the door for the food. But have a good day, everybody. Please do make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll speak to you all later.